And he was introducing me to Mr. Honda. I said, "Oh, are you in the car business?" Then he said, "Mr. Toyota, right? Toyota." And I said, "What business are you in? Let me guess." He said, "Cars."
Get ready, car enthusiasts, because the battle between Washington and Tokyo isn't just another tariff clash. It's a full-blown showdown that could send shockwaves through the auto industry and impact some hefty balance sheets. You're tuned into Global Power Play, your go-to source for the latest automotive insights. Today, we're diving deep into the trade turmoil that's shaking Japanese automakers in the U.S. market. The Trump administration is pushing a 25% tariff under Section 232, and Japan's top negotiators are racing to de-escalate the situation before things get out of hand. The stakes are high. From Ohio's seat factories to Alabama's engine plants, let's break down what this dramatic trade standoff really means for the industry. 1. The spark. How tariffs ignited this trade drama. Since late 2024, discussions surrounding Section 232 tariffs have been heating up, fueled by the US's Liberation Day initiative. The proposal calls for a 10% baseline tariff with potential increases, focusing on Japan. A looming 25% tariff on Japanese auto imports is at the heart of the debate. Japanese diplomats, including envoy Ryo Akasaka, rushed to Washington before the critical July 9, 2025 deadline, but negotiations have stalled, mainly due to Japan's resistance to opening its rice market. Meanwhile, President Trump has ramped up the pressure, calling Japanese car imports unfair and threatening even harsher penalties. This isn't just a political game. Major automakers like Toyota, Honda, Nissan, and others produce millions of vehicles in the U.S., contributing $170 billion in annual sales. Their supply chains are tightly integrated with American industries, from Alabama's steel mills to Ohio's tech hubs. A recent Bank of Japan survey showed profit forecasts falling, and regional economies are bracing for impact. This trade dispute goes beyond cars. It's a gamble with real consequences. 2. Price hikes. Ahead, the impact on sales, margins, and the bottom line. Japanese automakers hold 44% of the U.S. light vehicle market, bolstered by strong local production. In 2023 alone, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Subaru, and the Mazda-Toyota joint venture produced nearly 3.4 million vehicles in U.S. plants, while total sales reached 6.32 million units, generating $169.7 billion in revenue. However, this stability is now at risk. A proposed 25% tariff on imports and a matching levy on parts, effective May 3, 2025, could increase vehicle prices by an average of $4,400. With already slim profit margins, 7.1% for Toyota, 5.6% for Honda, and 4.3% for Nissan, automakers are under intense pressure. Toyota has already raised prices by $270 in response. The new tariffs will target critical components like engines, transmissions, and electronics, driving up production costs. If automakers pass these costs to consumers, demand could drop. If they absorb them, profits will shrink. Either way, investment could stall, or companies might even move production overseas. The industry now faces a tough balancing act: how to balance consumer affordability with the viability of manufacturing in North America. 3. Jobs on the line, the cost of retaliation. Japanese automakers support over 500,000 U.S. jobs, including 96,000 in direct manufacturing roles and 227,600 supplier-based positions. They generate $93 billion in annual payroll. In key manufacturing states like Alabama, Kentucky, and Mississippi, these companies account for a significant portion of local employment. Analysts predict that tariff-driven downsizing could increase regional unemployment by up to 2.6 percentage points. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that reducing Japanese automaker output could cut federal revenues by $18 to $21 billion in 2026 and $26 to $28 billion in 2027, totaling $62 billion in lost revenue over 3 years. Beyond the numbers, the true impact is felt in local communities. Factory closures could devastate entire regional economies, affecting schools, housing, and small businesses that rely on stable employment. If tariffs are implemented, it won't just be an industry shakeup, it will be a regional crisis in the making. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more updates and content. We've got plenty more coming your way. 4. Supply chain chaos. The domino effect. The U.S. auto industry operates on a $1.3 trillion supply network, spanning steel, seats, software, and logistics. Toyota's Kentucky plant uses 72% U.S.-made parts, Honda's Marysville plant uses 68%, and Nissan's Smyrna plant uses 58%. But tariffs on key components like engines and batteries could double the cost of complex assemblies. This not only affects automakers, but also nearly 197,000 U.S. employees at suppliers trained under Japan's Toyota production system. Experts warn that this disruption could lead to reverse industrialization syndrome, where suppliers are unable to quickly pivot to new automakers. The risk is that decades of production culture, including partnerships with technical schools and regional R&D centers, could be lost. Even the productivity gains from supplier clustering could be at risk. While some suppliers are exploring geographic diversification, retooling takes time and investment. 5. Price, hikes, hybrids, and the EV slowdown. Japanese automakers dominate the U.S. hybrid and subcompact SUV markets. If a 25% tariff is imposed, those hybrids could see price hikes of $4,400. This could disrupt the transition to greener vehicles, as buyers might opt for used cars or cheaper trucks instead of fuel-efficient options. While Ford and GM race toward electric futures, building new EV production lines takes at least 22 months. Meanwhile, rising car prices could feed inflation and decrease consumer confidence. 6. The final lap. What's next for the U.S.-Japan Auto Alliance? As July 9th looms, the U.S.-Japan Auto Alliance stands at a crossroads. Yes, a 25% tariff might reduce the trade deficit, but at what cost? The potential fallout includes 500,000 lost jobs, $30 billion in tax revenue erosion, and a dismantled $1 trillion supply chain. Beyond that, the tariffs could jeopardize the future of hybrid and electric vehicle innovation in both countries. The big question isn't whether the tariff will make headlines, it's whether it will set the auto industry back a decade. Before you go, let us know what you think. Do you believe Japanese automakers will pull out of the U.S.? Can American supply chains ramp up in time? Or are we headed for a long-term decline? Would you still pay more for a hybrid, or is it time to rethink your next vehicle? If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more updates and content. We've got plenty more coming your way.